Okay, there were just a few things from Power and Politics that I wanted you to take away, and probably a few questions that'll be on your test. Um, so I wanted you to be familiar with these things. Our group did a really good job presenting this topic, but why do you think that power and politics is very important in nursing? Think about that for just a second. It is very important that you have a strong voice in shaping the healthcare environment. Nursing is a huge role in healthcare, probably the largest role, or the role player, I guess I should say. And we should be able to provide a voice in shaping the environment, the whole progress of healthcare and how it flows and which direction it takes. It is important because we want to provide advocacy for our patients, and we want to advocate for ourselves as a profession. We don't need doctors dictating our practice. We are a nursing practice. It is different from physicians, so we need to have a voice and provide a leadership role for others. And we want to advance our profession. We have to be united so that we can have a more powerful voice at the local, state, and at the national level. It's very important. Power comes from the Latin word potere, which means to be able. Basically, we have the ability to influence others in the effort to achieve goals. And power itself is a set of behavioral and cognitive skills that are used through the process of influence to create change in yourself and in others. We're not necessarily talking about power over people. We're talking about power for ourselves as a nurse and power for ourselves as a nursing profession, and then as that profession affects healthcare. There are several different types of power. Personal power is one that is based on your reputation and your credibility. You are about to be new nurses. This is your time to begin what is going to be your reputation. You want to be credible. You want to practice so that people find you trustworthy and respectable, and that will bring you power. And make you powerful in the eyes of other people. Coercive power is that administration and managers use. We use punishment for not complying with expectations. Maybe we get a written reprimand. Sometimes doctors use this by embarrassing us in front of others, raising their voice at us in front of others. And that's their coercive power. I think that's abusive sometimes, but you'll all have that sometime or another, and it's just part of life, part of healthcare, part of nursing. And of course, termination would be a type of coercive power that we don't want to experience by any means. Reward power is the ability to grant rewards and favors for meeting expectations. Maybe you get praised on the job. Maybe you get a raise or a promotion. Maybe you're providing some type of staff development, and that is a sense of power. It builds you personally and professionally. Expert power is that influence that you get by having some type of special knowledge or skills that other people don't have. Maybe if you are educated in a certain diagnosis, maybe diabetes, then you have expert power in diabetes, and you may be asked to educate those patients who have diabetes. People who go back to school and get specific knowledge, maybe advanced practice nurses like nurse practitioners, they have a type of expert power because they have special knowledge and skills that just a regular nurse or regular RN may not have. People who work in a neuro ICU have specific knowledge about neuro. Cardiology, critical care people may not have that. expert power, but they do in cardiology. So you see how that kind of works. Position power is that you get by having a position of authority in an organization or a status within the group. Maybe you're the charge nurse, maybe you're the unit manager, maybe you're the director of nursing. So you have a type of power just strictly because you're in that position. Referent or perceived power is the power that you get as a result from your reputation as being a powerful person, or just standing out in front of or above people who other people because you are a leader and you stand out because you help people and you are always there to go in and provide and always add an extra help to those around you. Information power is based on your possession of special information about something. Maybe you attended a training session on informatics, maybe wound care, something of that nature, and now you're coming back to teach others about that. Well, you have information power. When I came to work at Troy, I had spent 5 years in case management, and I actually developed a class for case management because I had information power and expert power in case management that others around here did not have. Connection power is gained by associating with or knowing people perceived as powerful. Maybe you know a nurse at another organization and y'all can get together and develop this service and whatnot, or maybe you have a physician friend that you can connect with or have made a connection with so that you can get a job in their office. That's a type of connection power. The golden rule of power is that she or he who has the gold makes the rules. I don't know if I always necessarily agree with that, but it tends to be somewhat true most of the time. And I'm not saying here that gold is necessarily money, really. I think here having a lot of knowledge and a lot of connection and people who respect you really gives you the power that you want and what you need. Knowledge is really power here. Learning more about your job, learning more about your unit and how it works, learning how the doctors work and what they want for a particular patient diagnosis. All of that is power. It makes you powerful because it makes people want you to take care of their patients. Empowerment we've talked a lot about during the semester. It facilitates the participation of others in decision making and action taking. You're sharing the power. You're sharing your knowledge. You're sharing your connection. You're sharing information that you know so that other people can become empowered and know that as well. Nurse managers can empower others by facilitating, coaching, teaching, and collaborating. You have the opportunity to develop a powerful image right here, right now, as you begin. This first year or two is really going to shape your image as a nurse. Have self-confidence, but not too much confidence. Believe that you have the power to make things happen and that you have the knowledge to make things happen. Have a positive attitude about yourself, about nursing as a profession, about your patients. Commit to a career in nursing so that you can contribute to the profession and advance the profession. And always, always develop yourself personally as a nurse. Whether it's formal education or just reading and keeping up on the latest evidence-based practice through journals is very important. Watch your communication skills. These are things that can build your image. We've talked about it over and over again. Listen. Make sure that you listen, not only to your patients, but the families, other nurses, providers, everybody around you. Listen completely. And watch your verbal and nonverbal cues. Network. Get out there, meet physicians, meet other nurses, meet people in other departments, so that you have lots of contacts and support that you might need later on down the road. Mentor people and make sure that you have a good mentor yourself. Remember where you came from. I think sometimes nurses forget that they were once a nursing student and scared to death when they started as a graduate nurse. So don't forget where you came from. Find you a good mentor now and remember to mentor others later. Set your career goals. We did a career plan in senior seminar. It doesn't have to stick and you don't have to have it set in stone, but set goals for yourself, both personally and professionally. Make yourself visible. Volunteer for committees. Try to get special training, whether it's for PICC lines or whatever it may be, chemo, all of those different things. Those are just personal power tools. Learn how the organization works. Recognize all of those around you, the administrative formal leaders and those who stand out as informal leaders. Make sure you know your organization well. Collaborate and be kind to everybody that you meet. You never know who you might need in the long run, and it's very important that you have a good attitude and that you're kind to everyone. Join groups of individuals together around you. You're all going to be nurses. Try to advance the profession. Try to get out there and be a part of the community and join groups within the community. Work on your negotiation skills. I think a lot of this has to do with communication. And work on resolving conflict when it may occur. This is where we're going to stop here. Role transition and career management. We've talked a little bit about career management. I do want you to be sure and find a good mentor, 2 or 3, somebody who really has your best interest at heart that you can follow and learn from. The other specifics on role transition will not be on the test.